Okay, so you've seen them everywhere, right? On social media, in the movies, the super fast Belgian Malinois, and that tank of a dog, the Cane Corso. I mean, they're basically icons of strength and loyalty. But let's be real, there's the highlight reel, and then there's the reality. So today we're going to peel back the curtain and talk about what it really takes to live with one of these incredible animals.
You know, it's easy to look at them and think, wow, that's like having a superhero living in my house. And you're not wrong. But here's the thing. What happens when a superhero doesn't have a mission to focus on? All that power, all that potential can go sideways fast. So the big question isn't about the dog. It's about which version of the dog you are going to create. And yeah, spoiler alert, it has almost everything to do with the owner.
I mean, this quote right here just says it all, doesn't it? It's not just a clever line, it's the perfect way to think about this. Getting one of these dogs unprepared isn't just a mistake. It's like buying a high-performance machine you have absolutely no training for. It's not just irresponsible, it's genuinely dangerous. You cannot just wing it with a dog like this.
All right, Section 1. Let's start with the obvious, the thing you see right away, their physical presence. They're both seriously impressive, no doubt, but they are completely different machines, built for totally different jobs. This isn't just about how they look, it's about the engine that's running under the hood.
Okay, so look at this. On one side, you have the Malinois. Think of a world-class track athlete, lean, muscular, and just buzzing with explosive energy. They are built for speed and endurance. And then you've got the Cane Corso. This is your heavyweight powerlifter. They are the stoic guardian. They don't need to be flashy because their sheer size and power radiate this presence that's often enough to stop trouble before it even starts.
And the numbers here, well, they really tell the story. A really big Malinois might top out at around 80 pounds. A Cane Corso, that's where they start. They can easily push 120 pounds or even more. So while they're kind of similar in height, the Corso is just on another level when it comes to pure mass and muscle. It's a huge difference in power.
And this is the question that every potential owner has to ask themselves. You've got all this athletic ability, all this raw power. It has to go somewhere. It's not optional. So what happens when you're tired or busy and that energy has no outlet? Well, it doesn't just go away.
A Malinois without a job is basically a ticking time bomb of neurotic energy. And a bored Cane Corso, that's a one-dog demolition crew for your house. And look, it's so important to understand this isn't the dog being bad. It's unemployed energy. It comes out as chewing through walls, digging up the yard, barking nonstop, and in the worst cases, it can turn into serious anxiety and aggression.
Okay, moving on to Section 2. Let's talk about what's going on upstairs. Both of these dogs are incredibly intelligent, but this is where one of the biggest myths comes in. People hear highly trainable, and they translate that to easy. With these two breeds, oh boy, that could not be more wrong. So it's all about how they use that intelligence. The Malinois is like this straight-A student who is desperate to please the teacher. They crave a job. They live to work with you. The Cane Corso is also a genius, but they're more like the brilliant CEO who's used to making their own decisions. They think for themselves, and if they don't see you as a competent leader, they'll just take over.
And that's where this whole pack leader thing comes in. And let's be clear, this is not about being a drill sergeant. It's the opposite. It's about being the calm, confident, and unbelievably consistent guide in their life. You set fair rules, and you stick to them, always. Because if you don't provide that structure, they are more than happy to step up and provide it themselves.
You know, the funny thing about owning these dogs is that it's less about training them and more about training yourself. This is your job description right here. These 4 things are totally non-negotiable. You need firm leadership, tons of early socialization, absolute consistency, and you have to keep that big brain busy with mental challenges. This is the work, every single day.
All right, Section 3. Let's get into the main event, the very reason most people are even interested in these dogs, that protective instinct. It's an amazing thing to have in your corner for sure, but it is 100% a double-edged sword. If it's not managed properly, that asset becomes a massive liability. And they do their jobs differently. Think of the Malinois as your high-tech alarm system. They are always on patrol, always watchful, and they will be the first to alert you that something's not right. The Cane Corso, on the other hand, is the bodyguard. They're less about barking and more about physically becoming a wall between their family and whatever they perceive as a threat.
And this right here is a critical warning.
For a dog with the power of a Cane Corso, socialization is not just a nice-to-have thing, it is a fundamental safety requirement. Without it, that protective drive gets warped. It turns into fear, it turns into aggression, and it makes an incredibly powerful animal unpredictable and dangerous.
And we need to be crystal clear about what socialization means here. It is not letting them run wild at the dog park. It is about controlled, positive exposure to the world to teach them to be neutral. The goal is for them to see a chaotic situation and look to you for guidance, staying calm. If you get this wrong, you end up with a fearful, reactive dog that is a danger to everyone.
Okay, Section 4. Time for the reality check. We're going to talk about the true cost, because this commitment isn't just about time and energy. It's also about cold, hard cash.
So let's just look at these numbers. And this is just for the first year. With a Malinois, you're looking at around $5,500 to start. For a Cane Corso, with their bigger size, bigger appetite, bigger everything, you could easily be north of $10,000. And remember, that's if everything goes smoothly.
And the costs just keep coming. Think of it as a health tax. Both of these breeds can have issues like hip dysplasia, which can run you 10 grand or more in vet bills. The Cane Corso is also prone to bloat. That's a life-threatening emergency that can mean a $5,000 surgery in the middle of the night. You have to be prepared for this. So when you add it all up, over the entire lifetime of a dog like a Cane Corso, you're easily looking at $20,000, and probably more. This is a massive financial undertaking, and you have to be ready for it before you even bring that puppy home.
But honestly, the money, it might not even be the biggest cost. The real price is your lifestyle. It's the time you have to commit every single day. It's the sheer energy it takes to manage a high-drive dog. It's the mental fortitude to be absolutely consistent with the rules, with no days off. And, well, it's experience. Let's just say it, these are not starter dogs.
So, at the end of the day, this whole conversation isn't about which dog is better. That's the wrong way to look at it. They are both magnificent breeds. The only question that matters is which owner is truly prepared, with their finances, their lifestyle, and their experience, to give these dogs the life they absolutely need.
And that's the final thought I want to leave you with. It's really easy to look for a dog that fits into our world. But for a Belgian Malinois or a Cane Corso, you have to flip that question around. The question isn't whether the dog is right for you. It's whether you are truly right for the dog. Is your world ready for their needs?